And live. Give that a little clean ski. Who's going to be first in the chat? Ce soir, this evening, let's find out. Official house tour coming up. Who's going to be first in the chat? We will find out. Is anybody watching? Is anybody ready? I'm ready. Is anybody else ready? We will find out. Ooh, not like that though. Alrighty. Yo, Sterny! Sterny's first in the chat! Can you hear me, Sterny? Let me know. Kaylin says house tour. Correct, Kaylin. Tonight is the house tour. Can you guys hear me? Let me know. Thank you, Sterny. Sterny can hear me. Let's go! Thank you to whoever's hit the like button as well. W. And thank you, Kaylin. Says, yes, we can hear you. Thank you, Kaylin. Thank you, Sterny. Good to see you guys in the chat this evening. Kaylin says, I can't wait for the house tour. Well, Kaylin, we will soon be commencing the house tour. Looking forward to sharing that with you guys. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been a stress because I didn't leave enough time to clean my house. And it's still not that tidy, but we will persevere. Mad Pro says, remember me. Yes, Mad Pro, good to see you in the chat. And it's good to see people liking the stream. W to everyone who hits the like button. Much appreciated, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. As the title of this live suggests, tonight is the house tour. Now, by no means is the house spotless. By no means is the house as good as it could be. But we're going to keep it raw and uncensored, and I'll show you where I live. So that's coming up tonight. Mad Pro says, sorry for swearing last time. That's okay, Mad Pro. Thank you for apologising. Always appreciate that. But worry not. Today's another day, another stream, another opportunity. And WB is in the chat. Good to see you, WB. Sturdy says, sorry I wasn't in stream on Thursday. I actually had the worst depression episode ever. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Sturdy. Genuinely sorry to hear that you've been feeling down in the dumps. And hopefully through the power of the chat, we can improve your mood and keep you on the straight, not on the straight and narrow, but on a good track. Shout out to everyone that's just joined the room, 23 people. We are soon going to kick off the house tour. A tour of my little humble house. At 500 subs, we said we're going to do the house tour. And tonight is the night. So in a few minutes' time, we're going to start that house tour off. In fact, we've got 27 people, so let's start the house tour off right now. All right. So in case you're new here, it's the first time ever, I've been telling the chat that at 500 subs, we're doing the house tour. And that night is tonight. So let's kick things off. The chat has never seen where I live before. So if you're watching, you've seen it for the first time. What's up to you, Robin? We're just about to start the house tour. Now listen, if you're one of the 20 people out there, lock in, hit subscribe, and hit the like button. We're about to show you around where I live. So let's go. Let's do it. All right. So first things first, guys. This is the room that I always stream from now. I will turn the camera around. Now, please bear in mind that it's a work in progress and it's not fully ready yet. So this is the room that I stream from. So as you can see, not the tidiest of corners. Well, to be fair, the other corner is even worse. So I normally sit right here, as you can see, where my hand is right now. Prop the phone up on this glass of water. That's how high tech we are here. And then over here we've got, now listen, don't mind this mess, guys. Don't mind this mess. Bless this mess, Lord. Bless this mess. Now, the most important thing over here is the pull-up bar. Now, if you're one of the regular viewers, you know I like to do my working out. So this is the pull-up bar. And actually later on in the stream, we will do a tour of the house and then we'll finish the house tour by doing some pull-ups. So stick around for that. With that being said, let me show you through to the living room. Now, the living room, as you can see, this is where the tunes are coming from. And if you guys have been here for a while, you know, let me know in the chat. That's a bit loud. Let me know, guys, in the chat if you remember the streams from the sofa, because the sofa streams came after the table streams, and now we're on the desk stream. So listen, that's where we're at now. Let me turn back around. So as you can see, not too much to see here. It's got the sofa, it's got the TV. And this thing down here is a 30 kilo press. So hopefully you can hear how heavy that is. Now I use this to work out. We're not going to be using that tonight because it's mega heavy, but that gives you an idea. Obviously got the TV and stuff. Good to see you, Jimmy Jazz. Foxy says hash press. It is not a hash press, Foxy, but dare I say it, I like where your mind's going with that. And yeah, quick with the mirror. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Don't know. Listen, don't ignore. That's not a dirty mirror. That's a glitch. That's lagging internet. That mirror is spotless. The internet is playing tricks on me once again, you know what I'm saying? Anything else to show you in here? Now, the only other things to show you are these cool character jugs that my parents recently gave me. These are pretty sick, to be fair. I've even got two on this side. Now, as you know, I don't approve of fox hunting. I'm not into that sort of stuff, but I do think that's a pretty cool jug nonetheless. Now, if I don't reply to anyone's message for a couple of minutes, please bear with me. That's just because we're doing the house tour. The house tour is tonight. Oh, one last thing to show you in here is this nice print. So shout out to my parents for their good taste on that one. Now, we're going to show you through to the rest of the house. That's more like it. Okay, so we're coming through to the kitchen. Now, like I said before, it's not spotless. It's not spotless. So if you see some mess around in this kitchen, please, no hate, no judgment. But let me show you what we're working with. So this is my kitchen over here. I'm going to show you my fridge magnets in a second. But this is where I used to stream from. So anyone that used to watch my streams, I used to do them here, sat at this table just like this. Shout out to the 25 people watching the stream right now. We're doing the 500 subs house tour. If you've just joined the crew, hit subscribe to become part of the family. Like I said, at 500 subs, I promised the chat we're doing a house tour. And tonight is that night. So for real, hit the subscribe button, join the vibe, and I'll get back on with the house tour. So with that being said, anything else to show you in here? Probably not really. As you know, as you guys know, I love to eat. So again, that's not mess. That's not dirt on the hob. It is an optical illusion. It is lagging internet. This is spotless. Absolutely spotless. I promise you. All right, that's pretty much it for the kitchen. Oh, last thing to show you in the kitchen is my little fridge magnets collection. Now, these are places that I've been. As you know, I went to Tokyo not too long ago. I spent about an hour, kid you not, at this market in Japan, walking up and down, trying to find a fridge magnet, one that I liked. I went for this one in the end, and I'm still pleased with it, but look where it's from. Look at where it is made. You gotta love that. You go to Japan, you get a magnet made in China. All right, anything else on here? So we've got New York, and I went there years ago. Amsterdam, one of my favourite places to visit. Rome, I went there a year or two ago with my friends. With my friend, should I say? And these are some of the magnets I got in Thailand. So I got one from Phuket, got one from Chiang Mai, one from Krabi, and one from Pattaya. Let me know in the chat, guys, if you've ever been to anywhere in Thailand. I would love to know. And for the record, Thailand is a great place to visit. Oh, and last thing to show you is this. This was from the Rembrandt Museum in Amsterdam. It does not do it justice, but in real life, this painting is absolutely sick. It's a massive painting. It's called, I think it's called Minerva in her study, or something like it's Minerva in her somewhere. So yeah, Rembrandt, great piece of art. If you ever go to Amsterdam, go to the Rembrandt Museum. All right, guys, that's the kitchen. You've seen the living room. So now we're going to do the rest of the house. Now, it's not a huge house. We've not got too much to see, but I'm going to take you upstairs in these. So let's check out the stairs. All right. All right, then. Like I said, everybody, this house is not as personalised as it could be, but we're working on it. We are working on it. So I'll show you the bathroom first. Again, what's up, everybody? Now, not a huge amount to see in here. Not a huge amount to see. You've got your classic kind of, shower and all the rest of it. Now, for the record, this is not my forever home, so don't get me wrong, it's a decent house and everything, but it's not my house to end all my houses in. That's not an expression, but you know what I'm saying. So that was the bathroom. Not much to show you in there. I'll turn that light off in a second, but this is the spare bedroom. Again, not really too much to see in here. Actually, there's one thing I can show you in here. This is where like spare visitors, spare guest stay. But there is one thing I can show you in here, which is the new T-shirts I recently bought in Manchester. Now, these are pretty sick, if you ask me. Let's see if we can get some lights. That's like this is from anime, and I've actually forgotten which anime it's from. It's from Hunter x Hunter. So I don't know if we've got any anime fans out there, but this was from Uniqlo. Hunter x Hunter, I've never watched this anime, but I'm going to check it out at some point. So that was the first one I got. So we've got 3 T-shirts to show you. And let me know, by the way, guys, after showing you these 3 T-shirts, you let me know which one you like the best. So we'll go through them again quickly. One sec. All right. So this is the first one, right? So we've got the anime kind of one. We've got a bit of an anime design going on. Not too strong. I don't know if you can see that. But it's chill, right? It's like a purple. Someone, Foxy says, don't forget to take the sticker off. Yes, Foxy, I will definitely do that. That would not be a way to make an impression on any ladies by going on a date with stickers on the T-shirt. Now, this is the second one. Maybe I'll just show it to you like these. Again, I think that's quite cool myself. These are all from Uniqlo. Quite an artsy one. Quite like a strong print for the summer. Quite like that. And the third one is this one. So I'll say we've got 3 T-shirts. If you're out there, let me know which one was your favourite. So this is the last one. This is a piece of art. I think it's bourgeoisie. Yeah, Louis Bourgeois. Excuse me, Louis Bourgeois. So this is like I think like a Tate collection that the Uniqlo have done. So we've got 3 t-shirts. We've got the anime one, purple with black design. We've got the flower print, like the graphic-y, arty print. And then lastly, we've got like the piece of art. We've got it's basically a spider, graphic spider by Louis Bourgeois. So yeah, let me know, guys, which first one. Anna, shout out to you. She likes the first one, the purple one, the best. Cheeky Love Goddess is talking about Thailand. Says, I've been to Pattaya, Phuket, Chiang Mai, Bangkok, Krabi, Koh Samui, and many other places. Wow, Cheeky Love Goddess. Sounds like you had a great time. Yeah, Thailand's amazing. And if you ever get the chance, guys, would recommend. Now, this looks like, why is it looking so dirty? It doesn't look like that in real life, I promise you. But this is actually a nice jacket, again, from Uniqlo. I'll try this on at some point. So yeah, those are the t-shirts, guys. That was one set. So that was the spare bedroom. I'm going to go see my room now. All right, let me turn this off. And by the way, thank you everybody for appreciating that I'm not replying to comments because I physically can't do that. Now, the last room to show you is my bedroom. Now, again, not a huge amount to show you in here. Now, in this box down here is a synthesizer, which I've never used. It costs several £700 and I've never used it, which is terrible. But it's not because I don't love music. It's just it was too complex for me. It just is essentially like I don't even know how to describe it. It's basically like a computer rather than like a keyboard. It's like a computer with a keyboard attached rather than a keyboard, if that makes sense. So probably going to sell this and buy something a bit more manageable. Anyway, that was that. And now these are some of my clothes. You've probably seen some of these before. Worn this shirt on stream before. Anything else interesting to show you? The only other thing to show you, I think some of you watching will recognise this one. Let me know in the chat if you recognise this one, because I feel like some of you will. Anything else to show you? That's pretty much it. The only thing maybe is this. My friend Yonsu, he's from South Korea, and he came to study in the UK, and he loved the UK so much that when he went back to South Korea, he actually set up a British cafe. I'm going to post on TikTok about that at some point because he wanted me to. But yeah, so this was a design that goes from his place in, it's not even inside like Seoul, it's outside of Seoul, but it's called Sheffield Breakfast Club, and it serves like British breakfast and stuff like that. So it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny to be in South Korea and to go to a place and there's stuff like Walker's Crisps behind the till, or you know what I mean, stuff like that. It's kind of funny. Anything else to show in this room? One or two more things. So obviously where I get some sleep at night, very important. Got some books because, as you guys know, I'm a massive intellectual, an incredible brain box. No, I'm kidding, but I do love to read, and it's always good to have some books on the go. Got my Tame Impala poster down there. I know there'll probably be some other people who like Tame Impala out there, so that's just my poster. Why is it on the wall? Don't ask me too many questions, and you'll get no lies. Only other thing to maybe show you in this room is some of the things I've picked up over the last few months. So this I got in Japan. This is like a print on I don't know if you can see the texture of the paper, but it's very sort of, I don't even know how you describe this paper. It's quite like a thin sort of, you know when you get like recycled paper, right? You know, you remash the paper and it creates a sort of pulpy design. I don't know how to describe that, but this is what this is printed on. Well, that's what it looks like. It's actually good quality paper, but it's printed on that. So anyway, that is a print I got in Tokyo. This, if we've got any Studio Ghibli fans out there, My Neighbor Totoro, this is actually a sleeve, like a plastic wallet to put stuff in. I thought it was like a print when I bought it, but as you can see at the edges, it's actually a sleeve for putting stuff in. Anyway, it's still a cool design, so I'm going to frame this up maybe at some point. Other things to show you, this was me and my friends. So you know how I mentioned my friend a minute ago? This is Yonsu. He got married recently, and I was lucky enough to attend his wedding in South Korea. And this is his wife, Hae-yoon. And this is my mate, Alex, and his wife, Holly, over here as well. So yeah, us three went to visit these guys in South Korea, and it was a lot of fun. Anything else to show you? This is a pin badge that was made by my friend and his company, Crypto Kaiju. Met him through my previous job. This again, just like you guys will recognize this one behind the band. It's the Great Wave, very famous piece of art. So yeah, and this was maybe just a little thing I got in Tokyo as well. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff. But I thought I'd just leave these bits out for you. Oh, and the last thing as well was this Gengar, and I'm sure we've got Pokemon fans out there. This was from the official Pokemon shop in Tokyo, so that was fun. It's just a pin badge. It's an earring. I thought it was a badge, but when I got to the till, she was like, "Oh, it's for your ears." So I was like, "Oh, okay." But by that point, I was like, "You know what? I'm going to keep it. Get the Gengar out." So at some point, I will pin this up or whatever. And of course, we've got the new camera, which we're going to be using once we can get it sorted, and my little guitar. So maybe another day we'll do a few chords for you. And that is pretty much it. That's pretty much it for my little house. So not a huge amount to show you. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If there's anything else you want to revisit or anything, let me know. But I've been away from the chat for a long time, so I'm going to get back to it. But just for real, on that note, let me come back through to the room. Just on that note, speaking of the house tour and all the rest of it, thank you so much for everybody who's joining the journey, being part of the crew. And the controls are very good. So yeah, shout out to everybody that's part of the journey. Maybe I will do a quick few little pull-ups. What do you reckon? Shout out to the 29 people watching the stream. If you're wondering what's going on, what is this poorly lit amateurish stream I'm watching? Well, I just did a little house tour for my chat for 500 subscribers. I promised that I would do a house tour, and that's what I just did. So if you're one of the 24 people, you've missed the house tour, but worry not, we will do more tours and exploring soon. So hit subscribe to join the vibe, and maybe I'll end this house tour by doing 10 pull-ups. What do you reckon? And you can count along with me. So let me turn this around. Oh, hang on, this wrong way. Boom. All right, what do you reckon, guys? I reckon we nailed those pull-ups right then. With that being said, let me get back to the chat. And if you're out there right now and you've not hit subscribe already, hit subscribe to join the vibe. Let me catch up with the chat. So, Cheeky Love Goddess, talking about the clothes earlier on, says she loved the flower print. So just on the house tour then, I showed you some of the new clothes I bought. And of that, I showed you 3 t-shirts, 3 t-shirt designs. Cheeky Love Goddess, for her, it's the flowery one. But different strokes for different folks. What else have we got in here? Okay. Alita like the purple t-shirt. And by the way, guys, just a quick record. That doesn't make sense. I'm out of breath from the pull-ups. Just for the record, big love to every single person that's here right now with me on stream. Usually I give a shout out to every single person in the chat. As you saw a few minutes ago, I was moving around my house. I wasn't able to do that. But to every single person, all of the regulars, everyone I've missed, shout out to you guys. All right, boom. Payne says, oh, the house tour already? That was fast. Yes, Payne, we made it to 500 subs, so huge love to everybody that's hit subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me on the journey. And honestly, the next stop is 600 subscribers, but the next stop is going to be, real stop is going to be 1,000 subscribers, and that's been a goal of mine for a while, so I really hope you guys will join me for that. And if you're part of the crew already, vibing along, thank you so much for being here. All right, let me catch up. I basically missed everyone's comments from the house tour, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really do. And like I said, shout out to everybody that's here. Mr. 10 Years says, Captain Room Tour. Yes, love it. Foxy says, 62 push-ups. Listen, guys, if we break a like record tonight, then more push-ups will be in order. And I hope you guys enjoyed the 10 pull-ups. I was trying to make that form as strict as possible. Well, not as strict as possible, but I was trying to do good form. Shout out to you, Priyanshu. I'm doing well. I've had my tea. It was like a lentil bake with some vegetables and what else? Different types of vegetables. It was good. Carrots, spinach, different types of chard. It was good. Honestly, it was good. It was really good. Kaylin, yes, I do like anime. Have I missed anyone? Foxy says, where did you get the dips bar from, mate? Foxy, good question. I want to say that was from... Was it from Argos or was it from Amazon? I feel like it might have been from Argos, you know. And it wasn't that cheap. No, I'll tell you, it was from Amazon. And it wasn't that cheap, but it was like... How much was it? I'm trying to think how much it was. I feel like it was like a good 60 to 90 quid. I actually can't remember right now. But it was more than I anticipated paying for like what's just a metal frame. But honestly, I really enjoy having it, and it's been a good buy. I use it pretty much every day for like just like hanging off or like doing pull-ups or chin-ups or dips. I really would recommend one if you have the space for one. Oh, Abby says, what a lovely home you have there, mate. Cheers. Cheers to you, Abby. You absolute legend. You absolute legend. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you to Abby. Thank you for everyone else that's rocking along. Bring the energy. It is really, really appreciated. And Rob says, Edward, I know you've missed this comment a lot, but I've been super busy with the movie, and I really hope everyone can come along the journey with me. I'm still along in the background. Oh, Robin, of course. Sending you huge hugs, Robin. Huge hugs, and don't worry about not being as around as much. We know you're busy, and listen, you keep doing your thing, and we're sending hugs as always. Cheeky Love Goddess says, consensual snog to Edward. Cheeky Love Goddess, consent is granted from my side. And what a username you've got. Username checks out. Okay. Kaylin is getting pew pew pewy in the chat. Hopefully not too pew pew pewy. I've made it to the top pretty much. WB, no, Eddie says, yo, I can't stay long as I'm playing with my mates on a game. No worries, Eddie, no problem at all. We've made it to the top of the chat. And listen, we just did a little house tour. And if you've got a role, that is absolutely cool, man. W says, can you play my song Dirty Shoes Trance? At the moment, WB, we're not doing the song request just because I'm still struggling with the TV. Foxy says, I need one, mate. Pull the door frame off today when I worked out. Lol. Oh, no, Foxy. That is not what you need. And to be honest with you, Foxy, I've never liked those door frame pull-up bars. Like, obviously, you've just got to work with what you can and sometimes space, and they are cheaper, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, I've always had problems with those, to be honest with you. Whereas this one, it does take up space. Let me just turn it around again. It does take up space, don't get me wrong. But honestly, I do like it. I really do like it. And I think it's worth it. For me personally, it's one of those things where it's just one less barrier to working out. You can do a lot on it. You can do your abs. You can do your upper back. You can do your chest, your triceps. What have I missed? Yeah, like chest, triceps, biceps, your abs. So you can do a lot. You can do a lot with just that little dip station. Caitlin says, talking to Edward number 2, who says, or Eddie, who says he's got to go in a little bit, and she says, Caitlin says everything. Caitlin says, Edward. Right, let me start again. Caitlin says, Eddie, screw your friends. It is Edward. You better not leave. All in capital letters. Nobody has got my back more ferociously than Kaylin, I will say that. Sterney says, anyone want a quote? Yes, Sterney, we do want a quote, please. Cheeky Love Goddess says, I rented my house last month. Nice work, Cheeky Love Goddess. Now, Cheeky Love Goddess, do you mind sharing which part of the country you're in? Like, not your address or anything, but like a rough, are you in the north, the south, the east, the west? You don't have to tell us, but if you want to, that'd be cool. Land of the Land says, can you play Iskite? Unfortunately not. At the moment, I'm just letting the tunes play on the mix. If I try and put tunes on through there, it's going to get pretty chaotic. And not in a good way. It's not going to be fun, interesting, chaotic. It's going to be like me struggling with one hand, like, oh, I can't use my remote. But soon, when the new laptop comes, we will be back with the tunes. The full tune selection, the full, what's the word I'm looking for? Song request as usual. So yeah, worry not, it is coming back, Land of the Land. Oh, and Abby says, Edward, thank you so much. It was awesome being a part of the house tour, and I speak for everyone here. Much love. Oh, Abby, huge hugs to you. Hugs to Abby, and hugs to everyone out there that's been so friendly and supportive and encouraging. If you've just tuned into the stream, we did a little house tour earlier. Now, I've told you guys that was coming, 500 subs house tour. And yeah, that's what we did. So it was a good, well, I enjoyed it anyway. Hopefully it wasn't too messy, my house. And honestly, it wasn't the best house tour because it's not during the day. So like there's no natural light and I don't know, it might have just seemed a bit dim. But hopefully that just gives you a little bit of a glimpse as to like my life, where I live, what I'm doing. And also the pull-up bar as well. So if you hear me mention the pull-up bar, you know it's just 3 feet that way. Sterney is dropping some quotes in the chat, and she says, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Loud Sue, that's a good one. And change is the law of life. John F. Kennedy. Sterney is the quote machine, the quote final boss. W. Sterney, thank you for those as always. And Cheeky Love Goddess. the cheekiest of all the love goddesses in this chat says, Greater London. I'm based in Greater London. Good to know, cheeky love goddess. Thank you for sharing. And who knows, maybe our paths will cross one day IRL. Okay, Kaylin says, Eddie, you better not leave or you will be seeing your grave. Now, Kaylin, we don't want anybody to be seeing their grave, at least not during this stream. If you just tuned in, we've got one of our chat members, Kaylin, who's been very protective over me, which is very nice, but she's also threatening to send people to an early grave, so we don't want that around here. If you are tuning in for the first time, these streams are a very friendly, welcoming place where whoever you're at, wherever you're from, you're very welcome. We don't care if you're young, you're old, you're black, you're white, you're Asian, you're rich, you're poor, it doesn't matter. If you're here for a chill time, to meet people and have a good, fun stream, fun experience, then you're in the right place. So we just actually did a 500 subs house tour. I promised the chat a while ago that when I hit 500 subscribers, I was going to do the house tour. And that's what we did. So we just did a little tour of my house. I think the chat liked it. Showed them some of my clothes, some of my things. And yeah, so that was it. So if you're new here, hit subscribe to join the vibe. And let me get back to the chat. Foxy has got another quote in the chat. And he says, here's a quote, wear sunscreen. Fair enough, Foxy. Now, Foxy is a red-headed individual, so wearing sunscreen is particularly important when you are of the red-headed persuasion. Foxy, again, being a real one, says 5,000 subs, mate. Now, Foxy is one of my cheerleaders in the chat who always encourages me to dream big, to think big, to be brave, to think bold, beyond the norm. So, W Foxy for the support as always. Eddie says, I missed the house tour. Shit. You did miss the house tour already. You did miss the house tour, but maybe we can do another quick little walkthrough later on in the stream. Foxy talking about doing pull-ups. I think says helps with spine compression. Yeah. Honestly, like even dead hangs are really good. Now, if I missed anybody in the chat, I feel like I just saw someone. Good luck with your sats, Jack Greasley. Good luck with your sats. And Christopher says, come on, it's day 3. Still, you haven't fixed the audio. Well, Christopher, I'm doing my best to fix the audio. It might be on your end. I'm hoping it's on your end because I've got a new eSIM plan and the chat has not let me know that the audio is bad. If the audio is bad and the chat thinks so, we can always bust out the AirPods, but I'm hoping the audio is not too bad. Fearsome something says you got Greta Thunberg's hairstyle. Well, maybe Greta Thunberg has my hairstyle. Think about that one. Fearsome. Alpha Moon Witch says I don't want any subs. Fair enough. Not everybody does. And Land of the Land says this stream lit, bro. I'm finna sub. Land of the Land, you're an absolute real one. W to you. First time in the chat this evening, and you're already bringing the energy. Shout out to you. Arthur Radiel, who I'll call Arthur, has retracted his message. Message retracted. But fair enough. Alpha Moon Witch says, I'm saving up £1,000 a month. I don't need YouTube money. Well, good for you, Alpha Moon Witch. Sounds like you're doing well. Sounds like you are doing... Excuse me. You are doing well. Have I missed anybody? Abby says, W Land of the Land. Absolutely. Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Abby. I love it when people in the chat hold the chat together. And we've got a quote from Foxy who says, Winston Churchill said, you have enemies. Good. That means you've stood up for someone, you stood up for something sometime in your life. W Winston and W Foxy. What else have we got in here? Arthur says, what is your favourite supermarket? For me, it's Iceland. Great value. Interesting question, Arthur. Interesting question. Ooh. If I had to pick one, it would be Marks and Spencer's. Now, that's not a supermarket like we think of a supermarket. It's not your everyday supermarket, is it? That's not your... I mean, not many people do the full shops at Marks and Spencer's. I certainly don't do my full shop at Marks and Spencer's. But if I was just choosing one, it might be Marks and Spencer's. I do also like Sainsbury's, to be fair. And then for like the pure value stuff, maybe Lidl. So, yeah. Those are my answers. Zombie Queen says, much love and positivity to all. Huge hugs and W's to Zombie Queen. Shout out to you. Now, one thing that's concerning me is we are 29 minutes into the stream and only 12 people have liked. I'm feeling unloved. I'm feeling lonesome. I'm feeling low on confidence. So if you're out there, Thank you, whoever just hit the like button. You're a real one. But for real, keep subbing, guys. Keep hitting like if you don't mind. And Zara is back in the chat and says, hello. Good to see you, Zara. How are you doing this evening? And Foxy says, M&S has some bargains. Yeah, M&S, I feel like you get what you pay for. Oh, big love as well to everybody that just hit the like button. We suddenly zoomed up to 15 likes, so thank you so much. Vinay says, bro, you look like a person who leads a heavy metal band. Well, Vinay, plot twist, I am in fact the lead singer of Metallica. No, unfortunately, that's not true. But Vinay, I have been told worse things about my appearance, so shout out to Vinay. And you know what? I really like metal, so that's not a bad thing. Shivani Fit is back in the chat and says, hello. Good to see you, Shivani Fit. How are you doing this evening? Now, the question in the chat a few minutes ago was, what is my favourite supermarket? I said that I like Marks and Spencer's, Sainsbury's is decent, and Lidl as well. So the question chat was, what's your favourite supermarket? I said that probably M&S was my top supermarket of all, but I also like Sainsbury's and Lidl. And who just commented a second ago? Where's it gone? It's lost. But somebody had shared, I think it was WB had shared what his favourite supermarket was. So hopefully he'll post that again. Zara says, is Stranger Things your favourite or not? I would say not, Zara. It's not because I dislike it. I've only watched like one series of it, so it's not my favourite. Sage is back in the chat and says, sorry I'm late, phone was dead. No worries, Sage. I started late myself, so it's all good. Foxy says, Sunday night, Edward, slow night in it. Yeah, talking about the likes. That is true, Foxy, but through the power of chat. The power of the chat, we will prevail against the algorithmic forces of destruction that seek to destroy me. AKA, if you don't mind, hit subscribe to join the vibe, and that like button as well. Okay, back to the chat. Iconic Evelyn says, my sats are tomorrow. Good luck with your sats tomorrow. Good luck. Uday says, hey girl. Hello to you, Uday. Now, I'm not a girl, but I'll still say hello to you. Ooh, okay, and Fearsom's favourite supermarket is Waitrose. We've got a big spender in the chat, guys. We've got a big spender. W says, this chat is obsessed with uppercase. Listen, people get pumped up around here, WB. Sometimes it calls for an uppercase moment. Hey, boy. Hey, girl. Super Does DJ. I just wrecked that. But it's Chemical Brothers, Superstar DJ. Iconic says, do you have any tips for me? My sats are tomorrow. Iconic, I would say, during your exams, don't rush. Take your time. Think about the question. Actually really think about what the question is asking you and not just what you immediately first think the question is asking you. So take a second, reread the question. John says, hello, Edward. Hello, John. Good to see you back in the chat. And WB says, what's your favourite anime character? For me, it's KJ. Ooh, favourite anime character? That's a good question. That is a good question. Mine would probably be something really basic. Maybe like, I'm thinking about this. Maybe, I don't know actually. I'm going to come back to that one. And Arthur says, Waitrose makes my bank account shiver in fear. Yeah, you need to be a certain type of high roller to be shopping at Waitrose all the time. That's just a fact of life. Maboob Khan says hello. Hello to you, Maboob. How are you doing? Hello to you. And yes, Foxy, I did find your comment funny, but unfortunately I wrecked the joke by getting the lyrics wrong immediately. And WB, what is KJ from? That shows you how little anime I know. For the record, in terms of anime, I've seen like 4 Studio Ghibli films, and I guess Pokemon counts as, and Dragon Ball Z, but apart from that, I've actually not seen much anime, although I do like it a lot. What have I missed? Sturdy says, Tesco is your favourite. Interesting. Fox says you need to be an MP shop at Waitrose. Yeah, you need to be a certain type of player. Kaylin says Tesco is her favourite. So we've got a couple of Tesco fans in the chat. Sturdy is a Tesco fan. Kaylin is a Tesco fan. And WB says KJ is from a series on YouTube. Interesting. Vinay says, "Are you by any chance into true crime?" Yes, I do like true crime. I mainly watch either documentaries on Netflix or a lot of stuff on YouTube. I've not been watching as much true crime recently, but I've definitely watched a lot of true crime before. Probably more than I should have done, to be fair. And Sage says, "I got banned from the big Tesco." What did you get banned for, Sage? Rogue behaviour. Ooh, that was a close one. Now let's see if we can get this light a little bit better. I want to get a bit more of the plant in. Curtis says, "Hello from the North Pole." Now, Curtis, I'm still trying to work out whether you're really tuning in from the North Pole. Because if you are, that is super cool. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you are legitimately from the North Pole, watch from the North Pole. That is super cool. And Sage says, "For trying on the women's clothes." Right, okay. And Vinay is also a true crime fan and says, "Same here. It gives me secondhand paranoia. It makes me check my already locked doors." Yeah, fair. Fair. Sometimes you just got to be on the safe side. What can I say? Arthur says, "Would you stay in the Tower of London overnight by yourself?" Yeah, I would. There's more scary places than that. Like just some random abandoned building would be more scary than that. I'm not gonna lie. Foxy says, "Curious and Spiritual is a good channel on YouTube for crim stuff." Yes, Foxy, I've seen Curious and Spiritual. He's got quite a Midlands accent. He's like I just got distracted by notification, but Curious and Spiritual is like, "Today on True Crime Series, we look at the different men who made up one of Britain's most deadly crime gangs, with over 2 tons of drugs smuggled and over 150 million gear shifted in only 3 months. This one was a hell of a ride." I mean, that's not a bad impression for Foxy. I've not watched him for a bit, but that's how it sounds in my head. YNZ is back in the chat and says, "Guess who's back? Good to see you, YNZ." Now we've got Sumit Rai who says, "Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from?" Sumit Rai, please, no need to ask anymore. Sumit Rai, please don't ask the question anymore because you've asked it 7 times. And I'm from the north of England, Sumit, from the north of England. How about yourself? Foxy says, "Yeah, mate, that's the one. Mate, all the people on it are from round my way." Foxy, the way you describe your area, it sounds like the Badlands. Vinay says, "Have you read about Harold Shipman?" Yeah, I have heard of Harold Shipman, and I know what he did. Very scary, depraved individual. And Arthur says, "Nice voice impression." Thank you, Arthur. Like I said, I've not seen it for a little bit, but he is good at what he does, to be fair. And fair play to him because he was just like, you can tell he's just like a guy who I mean, all YouTubers are just guys or gals who start doing it. But what I mean is you can hear in like Curious and Spiritual, you can just tell it's just some guy doing it in his bedroom for fun. And now he does really well off it. So good on him, honestly. He makes good videos and people like that well. Simple as. Foxy says where he lives is like Beirut. Rough and ready. Have I missed anything else? No, I'm up to date. I'm up to speed. Foxy says, "I'm not joking. It's rough as a badger's foot." Well, now, without doxing yourself, Foxy, what is, even don't say the nearest town to you, what is like a rough town in Durham, County Durham? Because like I say, I know there's loads of places in the northeast that are deprived, that have problems with drugs and crime and stuff like that. But I mainly think of those as like, I don't know, places like Redcar, or maybe Redcar's not even that rough, but I don't know. There are rough places in the northeast, like you know that better than me. But yeah, I'm curious. Gordon, not heard of Gordon. Phil Play says, "What's rough?" Phil Play, we are talking about places in the northeast of England which are rough. We've got Foxy in the chat who's from the northeast, and he says a place called Gordon is very rough. Phil Play says, "Are you from the UK?" Yes, I am indeed, Phil. I'm from England, to be precise. Lord James has come in the chat with an original comment. Hopefully, Lord James's next comment will be a friendly one, a supportive one, an encouraging one, and not just an accent taking the mick, and not just a comment taking the mick out of my accent. Only time will tell. I'm hoping that Lord James comes in the chat with another good comment. Let's see. Foxy says hordes. Don't know where that is either, but interesting to know. Thank you for sharing, Foxy. I will not put those on my visit list. Vinay, leaving a philosophical remark, says waffles are nothing but pancakes with syrup traps. Interesting observation. Interesting observation. And Phil Plays says, I'm from Chester. Well, you're also from the north. Shout out to you, Phil. Good to see you. And Cello is back in the chat. Good to see you, Cello, as always. How are you doing? Kaylin says, the kid who started a fight with me keeps trying to bribe me into not doing anything because he's effed up badly. Well, Kaylin, hopefully you can resolve that dispute in a peaceful way. YNZ says, how to send a gift or a laughing disco thing. I think you're talking about Super Chat, YNZ, and I'm not at the point of doing super thanks or anything like that, but one day we will be there. But if you wanted to like the stream, that would be super nice. Or if you wanted to have some fun, you can hit the emoji at the side, and that will make a stream of emojis coming up. And that offer is open to anyone watching. Hit subscribe to join the vibe, and if you want to express yourself, hit the emoji so they stream up at the side. I enjoy that. And one day, YNZ, I'm hoping one day I will enter the YouTube Partner Program, and I can become an evil, money-grubbing overlord of YouTube. Did I say that out loud? I didn't mean to. That you didn't hear anything there. Have I missed anything? Cello had a huge concert this evening. Well, I hope the concert went well, Cello. I really do. Lord James says winter is coming. Well, Lord James, we've got summer coming first, so let's concentrate on summer first. Don't wish us through. Ark says, can't take what's meant for me, it lives inside. Can't miss what's meant for you, enjoy the ride. Cycles, enjoy the cycles. That sounds like song lyrics, but I don't know who the song lyric is by. Phil Play says it's fixed now. What's fixed now? I'm really confused. Oh, he says you're lagging a bit. It's fixed for you're lagging a bit. It's fixed now. I'm glad the lagging stopped, Phil. Thank you for the update. And you say I love your voice. Well, Phil, that is very nice of you to say. People have said worse things about me, so I appreciate that. Arthur says you should visit Rye and stay at the Mermaid Inn. You may like it. Well, I like the name of the inn. The Mermaid Inn sounds very whimsical. Very whimsical. And Vinay, British English sounds soothing to me. The thing which is another Tuesday for you is ASMR for me. Well, thank you for sharing that, Vinay. Where are you from in the world, if you don't mind me asking? Okay. Okay, and Foxy's talking about where he's from. Now, Foxy's from a rough area, and he says, I'm struggling to say without giving location, but it's ranked one of the worst places to live in the UK. Fair, Foxy. But, I mean, that is good to know. Apparently I'm lagging. Hopefully I'm no longer lagging. Yes, Fire Girl, I remember you. Good to see you in the chat. WB says, missed message. Well, WB, I hope you can post that in the chat for me again, so I don't have to keep scrolling up. Phil says, do you watch EastEnders or Hollyoaks, Edward? Not watched either for a long time, but I must say, even though I'm from the north, a bit of EastEnders is so funny to me. It's just like, who do you think you are? Get out of my pub. You're barred. Like, I just love the drama on EastEnders. Hollyoaks, I feel like now, I used to watch back in the day when I was a kid, a teenager. I used to watch Hollyoaks all the time, but I watch it now and I don't recognise it, and I don't know, it doesn't resonate with me as much as EastEnders. Whereas EastEnders, it's one of the OGs of the soaps, you know? Sage says, hey Edward, did you know I got banned from the big Tesco's for trying on the women's clothes? But sometimes that's just how it goes. Sage, I'm sorry to hear you got banned and that you had a bad experience. I really am. Vinay says, I'm from Afghanistan, mate. Well, Vinay, thank you for sharing. Honestly, it's really cool to hear. We've had one or two people from Afghanistan in the chat, but maybe only like literally two of the people that were here before. Like two tops. So you're probably like the second or the third that's here. How is it like, or what is it like are you still living in Afghanistan? And if you are, what is life like there at the moment? I would be curious to know. WB says, I don't get how people have the courage to confess their love. Now, is that to other people, WB, or is that like in the chat? Let us know what you mean by that. Kaylin, I'm hoping Kaylin will start posting her comments twice, so I don't have to keep scrolling. But you say I watch EastEnders. Nice, Kaylin. I've not watched it for a long time, but I do like it. A little bit of EastEnders sometimes. Ronan is in the chat. Ronan from the US of A. Good to see you, Ronan, and I hope you're doing well. Always a pleasure. You say, how is everything? Everything is all right, my friend. We just did the house tour. We did the 500 subscriber house tour. So if you missed that one, worry not. We'll maybe do another quick spin around the house later on in the stream. But if you've not hit the subscribe button, hit subscribe to join the vibe. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, everybody. And how about you, Ronan? How is everything with your life? And Tuba is back in the chat. Tuba, what a lovely surprise. Ronan says, and I'm as good as I can be. How about yourself? Oh, Ronan, glad to hear it, mate. Glad to hear it. I know you've got a busy life with the farm at the moment, so I'm hoping everything is going well for you. And yeah, sending big hugs as always. Tuba tuning in from India says, "Did anyone miss me? Of course we miss you, Tuba. Of course we. Well, I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm speaking for myself, and I miss you, Tuba." Interesting. And Vinay is in Afghanistan. Now, that is crazy to think that Vinay, right now, is thousands of miles away in Afghanistan, a very unstable country, a very, uh, a very troubled country. I think that's fair to say, Vinay. Hope you won't mind me saying that. And that's not a criticism of Afghani people at all. But yeah, Afghanistan is definitely a troubled place. And you say life in here is normal until it is about criticising those who rule this country, if you know what I mean. I absolutely do know what you mean, and I can speak more freely than you, Vinay, because I'm not in your country. But just to prevent any possible backlash towards you, I won't dwell on that one. But all I would say is that I hope things are okay as they can be for you, and that life is not too affected by what's happening in your country. I'm sure it is, but I hope it's going okay. That's all I'm saying. And Ryan says, "Do you wish you had blonde hair?" I used to have blonde hair, and in the summer, I don't know if you can see, it does have a blonde tinge to it. It would be nice to have like bright blonde hair. I can't lie, that would be cool, like a Swedish person, like a traditional Swedish person. But yeah, I do not have blonde hair anymore. So such is life. Yokai says, "Have a great day." Well, Yokai, thank you very much for the kind words and the well wishes. I appreciate that. I'm actually just going to go put some more tunes on in the background. So bear with me. Where's the TV control? Where is the control? Oh, it's there. Right over here. So we're going to put that on. And shout out to Edward Dickinson, who's in the chat. Edward Dickinson. All right, we're back in business with the tunes. We're back with the tunes. So I'm going to put my hoodie on quickly as it's getting a little bit cool here, guys. I don't know where you are, but I'm in the north of England and it's not particularly warm right now. It's not cold, but it's definitely not warm. And I reckon some of the people that are tuning in this right, actually, we've got a few people watching the stream right now who I know for a fact are in India. So it's probably much warmer in India right now. Have I missed anybody? Foxy is hoovering up Foxy fan club members, which we love to see. And Tuba says, "My life is very busy nowadays, hardly getting time to do anything." Well, Tuba, I know you're a busy person, but like I said before, we're sending you hugs, and when you can, or when you do have a little bit of time to drop in, it's always nice to see you, and we always like hanging out with you. Tuba says, I love Afghani food so much. Nice. I've actually never had much Afghani food, honestly. I think, obviously, as you guys know, I don't eat meat, I'm vegan, but there are still some in every cuisine, pretty much every cuisine in the world. Even like very meat dominant cuisines, there's always usually something which is vegan. Like, for example, in the Middle East, they eat a lot of meat in certain places, but they also have things like fool and falafel and tabbouleh and obviously the breads and stuff. So there's a lot of good plant-based stuff out there. So what I'm trying to say is one day I would like to try some Afghani food. No way. So Ronan right now says, "And I'm sitting in my house in Alaska watching a 6-year-old laugh at their own feet." Wow. So I'm here in the north of England and literally thousands and thousands of miles away in a different climate, a different continent, a different time zone. Ronan is chilling in Alaska. Super cool, Ronan. What is the temperature like in Alaska at the moment, Ronan? I'd be curious to know. And Vinay says, "I live all alone over here. I changed my religion just to survive in this place after this group took over." Interesting, Vinay. Now, I once worked with a girl from Afghanistan. She was called, not Sumi, what was her name? It'll come back to me, but this girl I used to work with, it was actually at a betting shop and I don't gamble, right? I'm not for gambling. I don't approve of gambling. I'm not saying I'd ban gambling. I believe in like people have the right to do what they want, but I'm not pro gambling because I just think it will just drag you down. It's like drugs or alcohol; it will just drag you down. But anyway, I used to work in this betting shop briefly, and used to work with this girl from Afghanistan, and she was Sikh, and I just assumed that everyone. Like we don't talk about religion, so I'm not going to get too into this. The only two things, as you guys know, we don't talk about on the channel are religion and politics because we want to keep it as friendly and as open and as welcoming as possible. But yeah, this girl who was from Afghanistan, she basically had to leave Afghanistan because she faced persecution because she wasn't a follower of the main religion in Afghanistan, and that was like crazy to me. Like, obviously, I know people suffer with persecution all over the world, different types, political, like if they're gay, like homophobic persecution, religious persecution. But to meet someone who literally like kind of their family had to leave the country because they were persecuted just for their religion was like crazy to me. So yeah, all I'm saying is, Vinay, is that I hope you're doing okay, and like don't let them get like. It's easy for me to say this, but don't let them win. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't let them crush your spirit. Like, this is inside your mind is the only place which you can be free. And I hope that you're able to stay positive, and I hope you're able to enjoy life somewhat, even with the forces that exist in your country. So for real, I'm sending you lots of good energy, Vinay. Shout out to you. And Ronan says, where I am in Alaska, it's always cold. Yeah, I think of Alaska as being always cold, but then it's like India. I think of India as being always hot, but there are some places in India where it gets really cold, like obviously in higher regions and stuff. But yeah, Alaska, I guess it's not the place for sunbathing. Okay, Arthur asks a good question and says, do you have any tips for young people worried about the future, such as job markets and rent? Great question, Arthur. Firstly, I will answer Ra, who says, OMG, hi, it's been so long. Ra, good to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Now, Foxy, I think, has left you some advice, but I will leave you or give you some advice as well, Arthur. The question was, do you have any tips for young people worried about the future, such as job markets and rent? Now, Arthur, I don't know if you're in the UK, but the truth is, in the UK and other countries around the world, the job market is absolutely terrible. I've never seen it in my life personally. Never seen the job market be worse. More competition for jobs than ever. Less jobs available. The salaries are worse than ever compared to the cost of living. So it is a bleak time for the job market. I can't BS you. That is the truth. What I would say to you in terms of advice is be careful with your money. Don't waste money. Now, spending money is not the same as wasting money. Let's say you're really passionate about art and you buy yourself some paints, and these paints cost good money, but that's your passion and you get a lot of value and benefit from that. That's not wasted money. What wasted money would be is like spending beyond your means. Like, let's say your mate down the road has got a flash BMW and you want a flash BMW, but you can't afford one. So what do? You go and get one on a lease and you spend loads of money on a car which you don't even own, and you're going to have to continue paying for a long time, and it's just a rip-off. That would be a waste of money. That would be you trying to live a lifestyle which you can't afford to live. So live within your means. And my second piece of advice would be put money aside. Even if it's just a little bit, put money aside. Like, you don't have to deprive yourself. Still enjoy yourself. Still buy yourself little treats. But put little bits of money aside and put them into, this is not financial advice, but put them into something like an ISA where it's going to be tax-free on your interest. That's in this country anyway. Ideally, put them into like a stocks and shares index, a stocks and shares ISA, where you get the advantages of being exposed to stocks and shares, so some of those ups and downs, but it's in a tax efficient way. Now, that is not financial advice. I'm not a qualified financial advisor, but if someone was asking me to give advice, I would say live within your means. Don't spend more than you can really afford. Don't try and keep up with the Joneses, which in the UK means don't try and compete with the neighbours because they've got a flash house or a flash car. Just spend what you can afford and don't get stuff on credit. And as well, don't forget to put a little bit aside. Think about the future, and you'll be grateful for it down the line. So I hope that helped. And like I say, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take that to the bank. Y and Z says, guess where I'm from 10 times and I will reveal it. Florida, 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 Florida. There's my 10 guesses. Now reveal yourself, Y and Z. Withered Boy says, being honest, I'm not very healthy, but I'm trying to be. Well, WB, it's not always about being it's not always about being perfect, it's about trying. So the fact that you know you're not as healthy as you could be and you want to get healthier, that's the important thing. So keep doing it. And Foxy talked about advice that you only live once, so live every moment as if it's your last. You don't want to be 40 and full of regret. Poignant advice from Foxy. So like Foxy says, enjoy yourself, live every moment like it's your last, but also maybe combine that with my advice of putting a tiny bit of money aside regularly, because over time that builds up. If you wanted to ask me what I, not regret, but if I had done something differently, it would have been from the age of 18, I would have consistently made an effort to put money aside, put money aside, put money aside, put money aside. Because whilst I'm not like impoverished or anything like that, if I'd have just done that and put like a little bit aside on a regular basis, with the interest you get or the compounding effect of whether it's like stocks and shares where you get ultimately that upward trajectory over time, or whether it's dividends or interest. What I'm saying is that let's say you've got £10 and you save £10 a month. That's £120 a year. Well, then you get interest at the end of that year on the £120. Let's say you get 5%. So that's £60 you'd have got. No, that's sorry, £6 you'd have got on your £120. Well, next year, even if you didn't put any more money in, you'd be getting interest on £126. So what I'm saying is over time, it adds up, it adds up, it adds up. So that's a bit of a financial tip. Ronan does not eat. Ronan does not eat meat. W Ronan. And Tuba says, good night, Ed. Just came here to say hi. By the way, it's raining here in India. Raining fire here in India. It's so hot. Oh, well, Tuba, I hope you can stay cool. India gets excruciatingly hot from what I've heard. I've heard like 50 degrees and stuff like that. So, yeah, hope you're doing okay, Tuba. Keep cool if you can. And good luck with everything. I know you're busy and we're sending you hugs. Diddy Boy says, hello, forgot about me? No, never, Diddy Boy. Nice to see you in the chat. Fox says, I like a wee gamble. Which company? It was William Hill. I used to work for William Hill. Context on that question, guys, was that I said I used to briefly work with someone at a bookies, and it was William Hill. Now, I'm not pro-gambling. You're never going to hear me promote gambling. And one thing I will actually say to you, if anyone's here right now, one of the 15 people watching or anyone in the community, and let's say I ever get any level of success, if you see me promoting a gambling company, you have every right to call me out because I would not ban gambling. But like I say, I don't think it's a good force for society. So if you ever see me promoting gambling, you have full authority to call. No way. And Ronan says, this is my 45th stream in a row. Ronan, that is absolutely epic, man. That is absolutely epic, Ronan, because Ronan, have you really never missed a stream in the last 45 streams? If you have, it's cool. But have you legitimately been here, do you think, for every single stream? Or has there been a week where you've missed some? Let me know, because I'm curious. Sage has got to go in a bit. No worries, Sage. And Tuba says, I live in North India. We experience everything from winter, spring, rain, and summers. We are cooks, lol. Well, at least it's not just constant heat, Tuba, because that would be unbearable. That would be unbearable. Arnold says weirdo. Now, Arnold, hopefully, if you're in the chat, your next comment will be a friendly one. We'll see. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the comments quickly and catch up with some people. And Jasper says, how are you today, Ed? With 2 Ds. Jasper, I'm doing well. Thank you very much for asking. We did a house tour. And you missed it, but that's okay. And Nkati is back in the chat. Says, Dumelang di chomi. Oh, Nkati. I don't know if I can say that back to you, if that's the correct response, but as always, I'm sending you a big hug in English. YNZ says, guess where I'm from. Tell us, YNZ. We're not going to guess, so do us a favour and tell us, because we are curious, but we can't spend all the stream guessing where you're from. So let us know. Foxy says, aye, but who saves money at 18, Edward? I was going absolutely mental. Yeah, this is the thing. So context, everybody, was that one of our chat members was asking, do we have any advice for someone, a young person worried about renting, about saving money, the job market, that type of thing? And I was just saying that I really wish when I was 18, I made an effort to put money aside consistently on a regular basis, put it into a savings account, put it into an ISA, stocks and shares, because I would have a lot more money now than I do. But Foxy says, you know what, don't worry about Edward. When I was 18, I was going mental. And that's true. That is true. When I was 18, I was not thinking about anything sensible. But if you are younger and if you're under the age of 18, that is my best advice to you. Have fun at every point in your life, but also try and think about little things you can do now to help your life in the future. And I still do it now, right? I'm not 18 anymore. Foxy's not 18 anymore, but we still think about things down the line. Ronan says, anyway, guys, I have to go. I have to get the kids a bath and read them a bedtime story. Hope everyone has an amazing night on Monday. Ronan, that sounds like a very not chilled, but that sounds like a nice thing to do for you, man. And good luck with the kids' with the bath time. Not always a smooth process from what I hear, but have a lovely rest of your night, mate. You take care, and we'll see you again soon. And Brooke, the lovely Brookster, tuning in from Utah, USA, says, how is everyone? We're all the better for seeing you, Brooke. I hope you're doing well. And you say hi, Edward, and chat. Brooke, always an absolute pleasure. And if you're here, guys, make sure you be friendly to Brooke, because Brooke is one of my good chums here. So if you want to show love to me, you show love to the Brooke as well. Alrighty, let's catch up with the chat. Vinay says, thanks for being with me, mate. There's definitely someone who shows concern for you, even if it's through a glowing rectangular screen. Oh, listen, Vinay, for real, man, like I've said before, I want these streams to be positive experiences where we can honestly come together from all over the world. I've said it before. For me, it's super exciting to connect with people from all over the world. And Afghanistan is one of those places where it's not really safe for me to visit right now. Funnily enough, actually, back in the 1970s, both of my parents went to Afghanistan, which is crazy because the idea of going to Afghanistan now, it's just not really safe to do that for many people. It's just not really that safe. But back in the day, my parents went to Afghanistan, and it sounds like an experience. It really does. But maybe one day, everything is a cycle in life. Everything is a cycle, and countries that are suffering now, one day will not be suffering, and vice versa. So I really do wish you the best, Vinay. And listen, even though we're not here together in person, there is someone that genuinely, that cares about you, that wants to see you succeed. And honestly, I want Afghanistan to succeed because it's a system. Like I say, I don't talk about politics or religion, but in Afghanistan, somewhere like Afghanistan, it's not that Afghani people are bad people. It's they suffer under a regime. That's what it is. It's a regime. They suffer at the hands of the people in charge, and that's always the case. That's the same in North Korea. It's the same in Afghanistan. It's the same in different countries around the world. So shout out to anybody that's going through any type of oppression or suffering. Goodman Truth says, do you have a microwave? Yes, I do own a microwave. And Brooke says, like the live, 100%. If you're out there and you've not hit the like button, you know what to do. 26 likes. It's not our strongest stream, guys, but you know what? Through the power of the chat, through the power of vibes, we will smash through 30 likes. I already know it. It's inevitable. It is destined. Destined, written in the stars. And if you are one of the 15 people out there watching right now, make sure you hit subscribe to join the vibe. We just did a 500 subs house tour. Now, if we get to, or when we get to 30 likes, which will not be long because we just hit 27 likes, when we hit 30 likes, for you lovely 15 people, we will do another quick house tour. I've been promising it for a while, and I know there's some people that have joined the stream a little bit later, so we'll do another quick house tour. Okay, and we've got a nuclear power plant fact from Eddie, who says, a nuclear power plant is a thermal nuclear power station that generates low-carbon electricity by using heat from a nuclear reactor to produce steam, which drives turbines connected to generators. Now, that's a lot to unpack, so hopefully you can reread that comment if you want to, but W to Eddie for the nuclear power plant fact. Jasper says, hi, Eddie. Hello, Jasper. You've said it a few times. I'm doing well, thank you, Jasper. How are you doing this evening? Shout out to everybody in the stream right now. On the stream, in the chat is what I meant to say. And Ra says, no, I wanted to see the house tour. Well, Ra, we will do the house tour. 17 people on the stream right now. There's one or two people that probably haven't hit that like button. So as soon as we hit 30 likes, we'll do another house tour. Vinay says, mate, I'll be shifting gears now. Don't want a mob yelling and knocking on my door midnight. Yeah, Vinay, we're not. No more. Don't worry. We don't have to talk about anything like that. Anything that's going to get you in trouble. But all I would say, like I've said before, it's good to have you here. We welcome people from all over the world. And hopefully this can be a community for you where you can find people who can be chill with you and just treat you like you deserve. Ra says, I'm 18, but I'm not allowed to make money. What do I do? Well, Ra, there's a lot of ways to make money now, especially online. I mean, none of them are easy. Anyone that tells you there's an easy way to make money, it's either illegal or it's immoral, and you don't want to do either of those routes. So try, if you're not allowed, explain when you say you're not allowed to earn money, what does that mean? Tell us what does that mean? And Brooke says, I can't wait till I can send gifts on the live. Oh, Brooke, you've been such a friendly, supportive person to me. Cringe as it might sound, is legitimately like a gift in and of itself. And yeah, one day my channel will be eligible for the YouTube Partner Program. So yeah, one day we'll make that happen. And if people want to send a little gift here, that'd be amazing. If they don't, there's never any hard feelings. Because listen, right, I know there's a lot of people out there. In fact, most people out there don't have loads of money. Like, even in this country, even in my country, like a lot of things are so expensive now and I know it's the same in America, Brooke. I know for a fact it's the same as America. Like America, you always think of I always think of it as being cheap, but there are lots of places in America where in fact, most places in America, it's pretty expensive. And yeah, the wages are higher, the salary is higher, but even so, stuff is expensive. The most expensive places I've ever been to in the world were were in America. It was probably New York and Florida. Well, Miami and New York City are the most expensive cities I've been to in the world. And I've been to not loads of major cities, but I've been to plenty of major European cities, Tokyo, capital, Seoul in Korea, different cities in various places. But yeah, Florida, super expensive. Well, Miami, super expensive. New York City, super expensive. So I guess what I'm saying is like, one day I hopefully do have like, I'm part of the YouTube program or whatever, and people can send like super thanks or whatever. I would never want people to send what they couldn't afford. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if people don't have a lot of money, I would honestly just prefer them to send like a nice comment. That is like good vibes. That's still good energy. Do you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want anybody to make themselves stretch themselves, if that makes sense. But enough of that. And Anna says, "I'm back, Edward. Good to see you in the chat, Anna, as always." Music Enjoyer says, "The GOAT is live." Music Enjoyer, you are an absolute real one. And Music Enjoyer, you are just in time, because when we hit 30 likes, which is 1 like away, when we hit 30 likes on this stream, we're going to do another house tour. The first part of this stream, we did a little house tour to celebrate 500 subs, but people have joined the chat again, and I feel like the regulars deserve to see it, the ones that missed. And Psyok is leaving a rude comment, and we're not going to shout out that particular part of that particular group for obvious reasons. We're not even going to read that comment out. And then Carter says, "Finally made it to the stream. I have no idea what is happening lately. It's so hard to catch you streaming. I missed you." Oh, and Carty, of course, we missed you. And I always reference you whenever I say we have people that tune in from all over the world. I always say like people from Pakistan, from India, from countries across the Middle East and Africa. We have people in South Africa, like in Carty. So you get a shout out even when you're not here. And thank you very much to Eddie, who has left the comment, which is now the pinned comment, which is, "Be respectful, keep it PG, no spam, no hate, no begging for mod, no religion/politics, and the Discord link." So if you're on Discord, jump into the Discord. HG is back in the chat. Good to see you, HG. And Ari says, "Hey Ed, I'm going to sleep right now. I stole my parents' phone. I'm going to do my final exams tomorrow. Pray for me and bye. Have a good day." Ari, take care, my friend, and good luck with everything. I know you're studying hard at the moment, so look after yourself. Brooke says, "I get free gems from YouTube, lol." What free gems? Sounds intriguing. And Cello says, "Hi." Good to see you, Cello. And Ra says, "Guys, please like. I want to see I want a house tour. I'm nosy." Well, we are only 1 like away, so as soon as we hit 30 likes, we will be doing house tour round 2. Now, don't be too. What's am I looking for? Don't anticipate too much. My house has got a lot to be desired. I still need to do loads of personalising. There's not too much going on in the house. It's a bit of a plain Jane house, if I'm honest with you. I've got posters that need to go up. I've got things to personalise. There's still mess around, so I hope you guys will bear with me. What else have we got? YNZ says, "Why was I timed out? I do not know. It must have been one of the mods who timed you out. But what I do know, and sorry about that, YNZ, we will keep you out of timeout. Maybe it's because you kept spamming, guess where I'm from, guess where I'm from, guess where I'm from. So that could be why the mods timed you out. But we have just hit 30 likes, which means it's time for the house tour. So anybody, for the next few minutes, I won't be able to read comments out because I'm going to be showing you around my house. Now, I'm going to show you around my house, but in exchange, I want you to hit subscribe. So if you've not hit subscribe to join the vibe. And without further ado, let's go see my house. So we're starting in the room which I stream from now, which is this one. Now I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see where I'm at. So this is where I do my streams from. This little corner. Now it's not the most glamorous, don't get me wrong. It's not a professional setup. But this is where I stream from. And this is literally the glass of water I use to prop up my phone. So that's how high tech we are around here. But apart from that, there's not much. Ignore that mess. That's not there. That's an optical illusion. These are some of my books, which I'll show you on the house tour. The first house tour I didn't actually show you, but we've got a range of books in here. Now, some of these are my books, and some of these are ones I've been given. Tom Wolfe, a good author. We won't go through all of these books, but these are some of the books I like to read. Got some dictionaries there, and I'm not pretending I read dictionaries, but I've got those as well. Right, that being said, and also as well, we will come back to the pull-up bar. Now, for the first house tour, I ended the house tour by doing 10 pull-ups. And when we end this house tour, I'll do another 10 pull-ups, just for the fun of it. Right, so this is my living room. Now, you guys may remember that when or before the desk streams, I used to do streams here on the sofa, and we had the big plant behind me in the background. Now that big plant, as you can see, is now through there, chilling, doing its thing. Got a nice little print down here. I actually borrowed this off my parents. It's quite a nice one by Man Ray. Now, anyway, back to the living room. Obviously, we've got the tunes on in the background. Like I said the first time round, this is it's actually like a vintage press, but I use this press to work out with. It's 30 kilos, so it is very heavy. Got my beanbag there. Got another little, I don't know if you've seen this one, to be fair. This is another tropical plant, so it's not died. I've had this for quite a few years. Only thing, what's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? And these character jugs, which again got off my parents. These are pretty cool, if you ask me. I think that's pretty fun. And these are like a traditional English thing. To be fair, they're not like, these are all antique, so that it's not like they make these anymore. Now, as you guys know, I'm not a fan of fox hunting, but I do like the character jugs. And we've even got a fisherman. Again, I'm not a fisherman, but I think they're quite cool for what they are. So, last thing to show you down here is maybe my boxing gloves, which I used to just shadow box with. And that's pretty much it down here. Got some weights on the floor. But let's take you through to the kitchen. Okay, so again, not a huge amount to see in here. We're going to come back to the fridge magnets in a second. Focus, not focus. There we go. So we've got the fridge magnets. I'll do you a little tour of my fridge magnets from places I've been. But apart from that, now, who recognises this? If you guys were here from the beginning or early in my streaming journey, the first ever streams that I used to do was sat right there at that chair. And then we went through to the living room and did them from the sofa. And then now we're at the desk. But yeah, that was where I did not my first streams, but my second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. Maybe the first 20 streams or something I did right there. Apart from that, what have we got? We've got just the kitchen, pretty standard stuff, to be fair. Nothing too crazy going on. But yeah, before we finish though, we will show you the magnets. So these from places that I've been. Showed you guys first time round. I've been to Tokyo not too long ago, so we got that. This was ages ago. Went with my ex, likewise. Went to New York with her and my parents. Amsterdam, that was another one. And Rome in Italy, of course. And then the Thailand ones. Now, these are some of my favourites because I went to Thailand last year and it was just such a good time. So I went to places like Krabi, Chiang Mai, Phuket, Pattaya. Where's this one from? And Bangkok as well. So yeah, generally a great time. Now, that's the fridge magnet section. Let me show you upstairs. Are you still with me? Are you still there? Are you still joining me on the journey? Well, let's get back to it. So, we're going upstairs. Now, again, like I said, there's not much going on up here. It's not a super jazzy upstairs. I need to personalise the house, but we'll show you the bathroom. Now, ironically, we've hit 29 subs, 29 likes, and we've managed to go down. So we're back down to 29 likes. Now, I'm hoping we can bump our way back up. We're back up to 30. We're back in the game. Now, you see this mirror? I actually cleaned this before, and I cleaned it with, where's it gone? I don't know where the cleaning stuff has gone, but my point is I cleaned this mirror, and look what it's done. That's what you get for trying to clean the place up. It looks absolutely filthy, but you can see the streak marks, and I don't know why it's done that, but that'll teach me for cleaning up. Anyway, not much to see in here really. It's just a classic, bath, shower, whatever. But let me show you the spare room. So this is a spare room we've got through here. Again, nothing crazy to see. Pretty standard spare room. But these are some of the new t-shirts that I bought, and I was showing the chat these earlier. Now, I've got 3 t-shirts. Let me know, guys, which one you like the best. We've got 3 t-shirts to show you. Uno, dos, tres. The first one is this. Now, this is from, these are all from Uniqlo in Manchester. Now, I don't know if you can see in this light. This is like an anime one. You can't really see that. But the series is Hunter by Hunter. So if you're an anime fan, let me know if you've ever watched Hunter by Hunter. I've not seen it. And I mentioned it to my friend, and she's not seen it, even though she likes anime. But I don't know. I'm going to have to give it a watch. Now I've got the t-shirt. I like the design, so yeah. So that's the first one, right? And then the second one is this. It's like a more of an artsy one, like a jazzier type of vibe. I like this one. I like them all. That's why I bought them. But I like this one as well. I think it's quite summery, quite a strong graphic print. So see how we get on with that. Like I say as well, once I've shown you the 3 t-shirts, I want you to let me know in the chat which is your favourite. So first one, we've got just like the strong purple, slight anime, black design there. We've got the print, again, bold print, graphic print. And then the last one is this one, which is a piece of art by Louis Bourgeois. Now, I know some people don't like spiders, so if you don't like spiders, you won't like this t-shirt. But this one is from Louis Bourgeois. Like I say, all 3 of these were from Uniqlo. And the last thing I bought, I bought some shorts as well, but I didn't show you these. And this is just the jacket I bought. If you are tuned into the stream right thinking, What is this? Is this a shopping channel? This is not the shopping channel. This is the 500 subscriber house tour. We've done one house tour already, and this is the second house tour of the night for everyone that tuned in a bit late and wasn't able to see it. So that was the house tour. We're not over yet. We've got another room to show you, and it's my bedroom. So let me show you this one. So yeah, this is where I sleep. This is my room. Got a few things over here which I'll show you in a second. Some of my personal things. I thought I'd leave them out just to give you a little glimpse of my life, my world. Over here we've got Tame Impala poster. Now I'm sure there's some Tame Impala fans out there. One of my favourite bands, I would say. I've seen them a couple of times, not for a while, but yeah, that's a good poster. Obviously, this is where I sleep, get my rest. These are some of the books I've got over here. Again, always good to have a few books on the go. It makes me look like. Oh, guys! I've just been muted for like the last half an hour, haven't I? No. Was that the entire house tour? Was I muted for the entire house tour there? Ross Hamilton says you've been muted for 5 minutes, don't worry. Ross Hamilton also says your room's nice. Oh, guys, I feel like such a fool. Okay, Ross said no, just your bedroom. It was just for the pictures. Goon Buyer says, are we dead ass? Don't know what that means. I mean, I do know what that means, but hopefully you'll say something else. Well, thank you guys for watching the house tour. What a fail. I would not be a good shopping channel guy. I feel like I've got the patter, but I managed to mute my own stream. What an L. What an L. Arthur says, and Eddie says, I pinged you in Discord 3 times. Thank you. I honestly didn't see it because I was too busy being like, oh yeah, let me show you these pictures. Let me show you around. But thank you guys for being patient. And YNZ says, bro, W House. YNZ, thank you for the kind remarks. And thank you guys for not dropping off. even though you couldn't hear anything. As before, let's redeem ourselves, or myself. Let's do some pull-ups for you. It's a cheap party trick, but we're going to do it. So we're going to do 10 pull-ups to celebrate. Can you see? You can see that. So we're going to do 10 pull-ups, guys. Now count along with me, and then I'll get back to the chat, alright? Alright. I tell you, we'll do some dips as well. We'll do 10 pull-ups, and we'll do 10 dips. Alright. 10 dips now, guys, and then we'll get back to the chat. Alrighty. We made it. We made it. Vinay says, mate, you and your community has such a welcoming nature. Never heard those kind words. It's a decade now. Well, Vinay, I'm genuinely really pleased to hear that you feel that way, because that's what it's all about. We want it to be friendly, welcoming, supportive. No matter who you are, where you're from in the world, if you're here to be a chill, friendly person, then we're here for you. So shout out to you, Vinay. And I'm glad, for real, I'm glad that the community has made you feel that way, because that's what we want. Foxy says, he says, love the house tour, even though we didn't hear it half of the time. I'm so gutted, guys, because we're 1% battery, 1% battery, 1% battery. Oh, that was so close. I was literally on 1% battery, and that could have been disastrous. And Carty says, love the house tour, even though we didn't hear it half of the time. I'm so annoyed, guys, because I was doing really good commentary. Well, I thought I was doing good commentary. I was like, this is my this is my that. And I was just wasting my time. Not wasting my time, but wasting your time. All right. Ra says, your house is so cool. Thank you, Ra. That is nice of you to say. Fox says, doesn't look very sturdy. Have I missed anybody? Oh, Vinay says, consider me as your subscriber from now on. Thank you very much, Vinay. Honestly, mate, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, there's no barriers around here. You don't have to be some rich person or some popular person or some person from a particular place. Like, you know, that's just about being a chill person. And it's nice to have you here, Vinay. Eddie says, Edward, how tall are you? I'm 6'1" or 6'2". Nice. I'm about 6'1". Well, just under 6'1". Like, technically, I'm like just under 6'1", but I'm basically 6'1", to be fair. Foxy says, schoolboy error on the battery. Yeah, Foxy. Indeed. Vinay says, I feel that urgency, mate. My phone running on 2% too. Honestly, I do it every time. I let it run down. I'm like, oh yeah, it's cool. I've got 5%. I've got loads of time. And I look and it's like 3%. And I look again, it's like 2%. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. And I look at 1%. I'm like, oh no. Oh no. And Carty says, thank you, Ed, for making this stream welcoming, even though it's hard to be here sometimes. Be here sometimes. Of course, Encarti, of course. And listen, whenever people can join, it's always nice to have you here. Foxy says, hey, Edward, I've got 3 subs. It's all thanks to you, mate. W Foxy, listen. The power of the Foxy fan club cannot be denied. Love it. Love it, Foxy. Foxy's here to take over. And Cheeky Love Goddess is dropping hearts. And also, love that, Cheeky Love Goddess. What a username. What a username, for real. Cheeky Love Goddess. Love that. Vinay says, love you, Ed. Vinay, I'm sending you the biggest of hugs, my friend. The biggest of hugs. From me in England to you in Afghanistan. Love and hugs, my friend. Eddie says, Edward, what time are you ending? Oh, good question. Well, we've been on 84 minutes, guys. It's been a whirlwind. It's been a whirlwind of a house tour. But we will probably have to end fairly soon. Maybe 10 minutes. So let's see if between us we can get to 35 likes. I hope we can. Let's see if we can do it. Eddie says, I have 76 subscribers. W Eddie. That's a good effort. And Eddie says, I'm a go as you're ending soon. No worries, Eddie. No worries at all. Thank you for joining the stream. Thank you for bringing the vibes in the chat, for welcoming people, for making it a lot of fun, as per. And for real, thank you to everybody that joins these streams. Like I've said a million times before, it doesn't make sense without you guys being here. If it was just me talking to myself, I'd get bored of my own voice. And I think the internet would too. If it was just me talking to nobody, that would be a pretty sad state of affairs. So if you're one of the 12 people or beyond, the big crew that comes and hangs out with us, thank you so much for being here. You guys are real ones. Cheeky Love Goddess said it took a bit of thinking, my username. Cheeky Love Goddess, that is a username which makes the mind wander. That's all I'm saying. And good night to you too, Eddie. Vinay says, my bestie, she's insisting me to shift to Bristol, move in with her opinions. Well, if you're in Afghanistan, you're thinking about moving to Bristol. The truth of the matter is that the UK would offer you a safer, more stable life than Afghanistan. That's if you're in the UK. I think you said you're in Afghanistan now. So yeah, your life would be safer and more stable in the UK. The UK has its own problems, and it's not perfect here by any means. But I think if it was me and it was a choice between living under the group that you live under or living somewhere else, I would probably move somewhere else. But that's a personal decision, honestly. Yeah. What was Vinay say? Oh yeah, and Foxy says quite simply, Vinay, do it. You only live once. Yeah, honestly, to be honest. Interesting. Ra says also the white flower shirt you showed us matches your vibe the most. Thank you, Ra. I think I agree with that actually, because I do like the kind of the floral stuff and the graphic-y print as well. So I do like that t-shirt in particular. Yeah. And Carter says, took some time out this week. I got humbled so many times in the stream, I had to take time out. Oh, my heart couldn't take it. Oh, and Carty, we don't want you to ever feel like you need to take time out. And if that is the case, then we need to think about what's not working so well. And Fox says, I liked slide 1. So that was t-shirt 1, right? Saucy Spider is a good name. Yeah, who's Saucy Spider? Have we got a Saucy Spider in the chat? I don't know. I do not know. Quick sip of water time. And just for the record, thank you to everybody that joined for the house tour, for the 2 mini house tours that we did, and for everybody that had to experience me just chatting away to myself because I put myself on mute. I apologise. One day I will have, excuse me, if not a full team of people, I will have an assistant, hopefully. Fingers crossed, maybe. I would love an assistant to kind of do all the stuff like that for me. That'd be cool. Ra says, I've been studying for my A-level finals. It's in 3 days, so I never got time to come on. Also, I got Hep E and was in the hospital. Oh, goodness, Ra. We've had a few people that have been going through it with health problems recently. So I hope you're doing okay, Ra, because that sounds hectic. And Foxy says he liked the spider one. Thank you, Foxy, for confirming. Yeah, so I like the spider one. I like all of them, honestly, but I definitely like the strong graphics ones. And then Carter says, no, honestly, it has nothing to do with you, Ed. It's just a mod thingy, but I love you. Well, I love you as well, Encarty. And We will keep an eye on the mod situation because it usually works great and the mods always do a great job, but then sometimes things become a little bit hectic. And Cheeky Love Goddess says, I'm going to love you and leave you at night. Good night to you, my lovely Cheeky Love Goddess. Sleep well, and I hope you have a good night's sleep. Rest up, and hopefully see you on another stream. Vinay says, I'll surely meet you one day, mate. Want to embrace you, but with respect to boundaries, of course. Well, thank you for being respectful, Vinay, and hopefully we can meet IRL one day. I would love that. I would love to do a subscriber meetup one day. That'd be super satisfying for me, honestly. It'd be really good. So yeah, fingers crossed, Vinay, and like I said before, until we meet in person, I'm sending you big virtual hugs. Ra says, oh, also any book recommendations? Yeah, so I've said this one before, but 1984 by George Orwell, I think is a great book. And it was relevant to today. It was written in 1948, but it's a book that's relevant to today, many decades later, in a world that's increasingly troubled, fractured, has different types of conflicts. It's a good book, even to this day. YNZ says, how in wow ignored? I'm not sure what that means. How about Tommy James? I'm not sure what you're asking, YNZ. Vinay says, did you just say George Orwell? That's my favourite. Yes, Vinay, George Orwell is actually my favourite author. And like I said, I think his books are brilliant. And 1984 in particular, that's my favourite book probably because it's like a prophecy for the future. It was written, 80 years ago, but it's like it's telling the reality of what's going to come. So yeah, brilliant author, brilliant book. The legendary Zaka says, ignoring me in question marks. I've not seen any other comment from you. So no, I'm not ignoring you, but I'm also not telepathic and I'm not able to read your mind. So no, not ignoring you. And Mud Sadiq says, hi, I'm from UK, buddy. Hello, Mud Sadiq. Nice to see you in the chat. How are you doing this evening? And YNZ says, the name should be Owen Jawad. I'm not sure who that is. But Vinay says, I've read his book titled Animal Farm. Definitely hits home. Yeah, another great book from George Orwell. Really good. Really good. And Foxy says, war is peace, peace is war, and all that jazz. I've read it a few times. Yeah, Foxy, that's the one. Really good. And Froggers Likes Cars says, I used to read, but now I wait for the film. So lazy. Well, Froggers, that is a little bit lazy. But at least you admit that, to be fair. At least you admit that. And Maud Sadiq says, where are you from? I am from the north of England. My nearest city is Manchester. How about you, Maud Sadiq, which part of the country are you from? Oh, and Ruth is here. Ruth Connor, being a lovely, lovely supporter, says, hey, haven't been able to catch lives, always supporting the vids though, have an amazing stream. Ruth, if you're still watching, I'm sending you huge hugs. Thank you so much for popping in to say that. I know people are busy and we've all got busy lives, but I really do appreciate when people just drop in to say hey and to show a little bit of support. So it's much appreciated, Ruth, and I hope everything is going well for you in your life. I really do. Brooke says, I need to get back into reading. Hi, Ruth. Yeah, Brooke, I need to get back into reading. Like, I do read, but if I'm honest with you, like, I've not read in the last few days. I've not been reading a book recently, and I really need to. I need to spend less time on screens. I need to save my screen time for stream time, and yeah, watch less things and read more because it's really good for you in so many different ways. Jubilee has left a poignant, deep comment and says, no book can describe the magnitude of existence. True, Jubilee, but it can offer other contributions to your life. Ra says, Animal Farm made me so sad for the animals, I genuinely cried. Listen, it is a poignant book. It really is. It's a heavy-hitting book. And especially at the end, yeah. And Vinay says, I especially love the imagery mentioned in that book, comparing the Soviet authorities to pigs. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, it's a clever book. It really is. Like, it's, I don't know. I've not read Animal Farm for a while, but it hits. It does. And Ruth says, love to you all and kindness. Ruth, what a lovely comment. What a lovely energy to bring to the chat. Big up to you. And Carter says, honestly, never been a book person. Can anyone recommend anything so good that I cannot stop reading? Chat if you're out there. Any recommendations for Encarti? A book that you cannot stop reading once you pick it up. I'm trying to think if there's any books like that I can think of. Books. Brooke says book club. The Brook Club, more like. But yeah, listen? We could do a Brook. We could do a Brook Club. We could do a book club. Payne Reaver says, raise the roof, Ed. Payne Reaver, love that energy as well. W to you. YNZ says, do you think I'm an OG to the channel? The honest answer, YNZ, being perfectly upfront with you, is I couldn't say you're an OG. Only because I think you've been here. How many weeks have you been here? I think OG would have to be like a couple of months at this point. But that's not to say that you won't become an OG, because in 3 months or 6 months' time, you will be an OG, because you'll have been here for ages and all the newcomers will be the newcomers and you'll be one of the OGs. And Carty says, so embarrassed to say that the only time I read is when I study for my IT exams and tests. And Carty, I think a lot of people are like that. I actually think most people are like that. In this day and age, it's too easy to spend time on screens. I say that as I'm staring at a screen, as you're staring at me on a screen. But with that being said, hopefully this stream is like a meaningful, purposeful stream. It's not just a waste of your time. I want them to be good use of your time, because we only live once. I want you to have fun or to learn something, or generally just enjoy the vibe while you're here with me. And good night to you, Eddie. You say, guys, we are trying to hit 35 likes. If you're out there, hit the subscribe button and the like button. Frogger says, I read books with no words so I can use my imagination when someone asks what I'm reading. Foxy says, I'm an OG, as in 40 plus. All the youngsters call me Unk. Fair play, Foxy. There are worse things to be than Unk. Oh, nice. This is a good quote from Vinay, who says, the line said by George Orwell hits differently, that every joke is a tiny revolution in itself. Good. Thank you for that, Vinay. So many good quotes from Orwell, and such a good author, such a quotable author. Ra says, am I an OG? Ra, as well, reminds me how long you've been here. I don't know. Are you an OG? It's tricky for me. I try and keep up with every single person in the chat. But at this point, it's dozens of people. There are dozens of regulars that drop into the chat, and it's hard for me to remember every single person's journey. But Ra, I feel like you have been here quite a while. Brooke says, the Brooke Book Club. Listen, Brooke, you could be our book representative, our book community member. No, our book. Not community representative, like community rep, right? You could be our book rep. Ross Hamilton is back in the chat. Good to see you, Ross. And Eddie says, YNZ has arrived for 2 streams. Fair. I was going to say, I didn't think YNZ had been here for that long, but thank you for the update, Eddie. And Ross says, what time do you go to bed? Ross, later than I should do. I go to bed at like 11 onwards, put it that way, and which is why that we can't. That's why I can't stream for that long in an evening, because I I have to go to bed, unfortunately, because I have work in the morning. One day I pray that this will be my job, and my morning stream will be my work in the morning. But until then, I have to do a 9 to 5. Stanley is back in the chat and says, and Jazz, the lovely Jazz from Canada, my Canadian tow truck queen, says, sorry I'm late, just here to say hello. Jazz, sending you a massive hug as always, and I hope your day is going well, and that you've not been working too hard, Missy, because you definitely work hard. So, yeah, lovely to see you as always, and safe driving on the roads. And see you later, YNZ, who says, I'm going to go, bye, y'all. And I'm Foxy's nephew, that is true. Have I missed anybody? Payne says, people call me uncle, but no offence, I've been an uncle since I was a kid. Take care, YNZ. Foxy says, oh, Canada, oh, Canada. A good question from Vinay, who says, have you read Genealogy of Morals by Friedrich Nietzsche? I have not read that book before, but thank you for the recommendation. I've actually never read any Nietzsche before, so that's one for me to add to the list. So appreciate that, Vinay. And Nkati says, any evidence on the best platform to look for a job? I don't know about in South Africa, but I think LinkedIn is still a great way, if not to look for jobs always, but definitely to connect with people. So that's a great place to reach out to people and connect. And Jazz like the Fox, yeah, like the Canada South Park reference. Love it. Love it. Well, you know what, guys? Even though Jazz has just joined, not to be a cruel individual, before I go though, Brooke says, you have a very nice flat, Edward. Did I say that appropriately? Now, this is actually a house, Brooke, but thank you for the nice words. So this is a house. It's a house. A flat is what we call, well, it's I think you call apartments in America, right? You call flats, well, we call flats apartments. Sometimes people would say apartment, and sometimes people would say flat, but a lot of the time people do say flat. But thank you. It's not, as I say, it's not like I've not got everything like up, like everything personalised. I've got stuff in boxes and I still need to unpack, even though I moved in a while ago. But yeah, thank you for the kind words anyway. But no, it's all right. Don't worry, it wasn't anything like bad or offensive. And good night to you, Ra. Sleep well. Oh, and Foxy says, Jazz, we love you, Canada, from the northeast. Love that. That's what I'm talking about. Supportive vibes. And Fox says, apartment is all one room in the UK. See, Foxy, I thought that's what a studio was. A studio apartment. Like, but specifically a studio is where it's all in one. But what do I know? I'm just a guy. And Payne says, I'm taking some certificates online over school for now. I'm studying wine at the moment. I've never heard anyone say that in the chat, so thank you for sharing that, Payne. And good luck with that as well. I hope it all works out for you. And Foxy says, yeah, maybe it is a studio, mate. I think it is, Foxy. I think a studio is where it's all one room, where it's like the bedroom, the kitchen, all combined. Vinay says, tiptoe through the tulips with me. Well, you know what, guys? Brooke has got to go, and she says, see you on the next one, everyone. Bye, Edward. Goodbye, lovely Brooke. Thank you so much for joining. And listen, guys, we've been streaming 101 minutes. It's been another epic stream, and we managed to hit 35 likes. So thank you so much to everybody who joined us for that one. Foxy says, book club, Ed. Pick a book. Oh, Foxy. I can't think. And Vinay says, it's a song by Tiny Tim, not trying to be creepy. Okay. Foxy, if you've got any suggestions, put it in the chat right now, if you would, my friend, because my mind has gone blank. But yeah, we will sleep on that one. Actually, Foxy, my challenge to you, we will be streaming again tomorrow. So, Foxy, if you can have a think overnight as to a book, let's reconvene on that one. But let's think about the book club, because that'll be a fun thing to do. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for supporting the stream. And Fox says, pick one. All right, mate, I'll have a think about that. I'll have a think about one for tomorrow's stream. But like I said, thanks so much to everybody who's joined. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for joining me for the house tour. I hope you enjoyed it. We will do more walkthroughs, more IRL stuff as well. I need to start doing some IRL streams for you guys. But 1% again, need to plug in quickly before we die. But listen, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much to everybody who's joined. I'm going to do some quick shout outs to end. Shout out to Foxy, shout out to Nkati, shout out to Brooke, shout out to Payne, shout out to Jazz, shout out to Ra, and shout out to Vinay, of course, as well. And Foxy says, see you, mate. Thanks for your entertainment and niceness. Thanks, mate. Thank you, Foxy. Thank you for holding the chat down and for being genuinely like a warm, staunch presence in the chat. So big up to you, Foxy. And thank you for the suggestion from Vinay, Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, a classic book. Not read it, but a well-known book. So that could be a good one for us to look at the book club. So with that being said, goodbye to everybody. Bye, Jazz, Foxy, Vinay, and Carty, everyone I've missed. I'm sending you all big hugs. Take care until tomorrow, and I'll see you 8 p.m. UK time. All right, that's it, everybody. Lots of love, and I'll see you tomorrow. And that's about it. Peace out for now.